What's up, Lamer Gamers? It's time for another episode of Rowdy's Ruckus Rantings, and today we're going to talk about my experience with Dragon Quest XI. Now, before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to Parallax Media for helping Simply Travis and myself spread the Lamer Gamers message. You can check them out on Twitter or at parallaxmedia.one. I'd also like to shout out Transistor.fm for helping host this podcast. Now, on to the disclaimer. Like the last episode of Rowdy's Ruckus Rantings, this show is not safe for work. There will be situations intended for a mature audience and gratuitous use of the F word. So, without further ado, cue the music. So, when I decided I wanted to do a video game podcast, I sat down and brainstormed with my childhood friend, Simply Travis, and we talked about what we could possibly even talk about. What would make us different from all the other gaming podcasts featuring dudes in their mid-30s with beards? That's when we decided to talk about balancing personal life with gaming. We both work long hours, so we wanted to appeal to the gamers in the same boat as us. One of the ideas that I came up with was games you could beat in a week. I work 12 hours a day for 7 days in a row, then have off 7 days. On my week off, I play as much of a game as possible and try to beat it. I've been able to beat a few this way, but not recently. I've been playing Death Stranding and Dragon Quest XI-S Echoes of an Elusive Age for about the past month, 2 months. It's been a while. So today, we're going to talk about the latter, Dragon Quest XI. Now, this is not a review, it's not a pros and cons list or anything like that. It's just me ranting about my experience so far with the game and things that have happened while playing it. Now, from this point on, there will be spoilers. You've been warned. And the reason why I say my experiences so far is because this is a long-ass game. And it is not a game you could beat in a week. Well, I mean, if you don't have a job and you play it nonstop, maybe. But, like I said, this is about balancing professional life and gaming. So, not one that's going to happen. I've been playing it on and off for a few months. And while quickly knocking out other games like Luigi's Mansion, like I stopped playing this so that I could knock that out real quick. And then came back to it. But when I finally got back into the swing of the game, I thought I was close to beating it. I've seen comments online about the length of the game. Most people saying, about, 70 hours. And I thought I was close to beating it at 40. I mean, I was kicking the shit out of this game. I mean, I was sailing through battles with ease. I'd leveled my character to the point where I was unstoppable. I'd collected all of the orbs, and made my way to the world tree, Yggdrasil. I was in the end game. I was about to beat the shit out of this game. I was about to beat the game that people said took them 70 hours and much less time. Boy, was I fucking wrong. So, I made it to Yggdrasil. The main enemy, Morrigan, shows up. I'm ready to fight and kick him in the clackers. Well, shit did not go as planned. Morrigan wins the fight. Not only does he win, he takes all the orbs. He corrupts the Sword of Light, which I was trying to get, and fucks up the world tree. This causes the tree to fall out of the sky, causing a cataclysmic event that reshapes the world of Erdrea. There's a metric shit ton of deaths, the environment changes, places you could normally get to are blocked off. The world has gone crazy. You get separated from your allies and turned into a fucking fish. Yes, that's right, a goddamn fish. After the world tree falls and fucks up Erdrea, you play as your allies, who you're separated from, to fill in the story of what's happened. One seeks out his old master to try and become stronger to beat Mortigan. One decides to try and spread joy and happiness in a world that seems so grim. You play through a few of these stories till you finally get back to the main character. You wake up after being in a coma for, I don't know, somewhere like a month, something like that, only to find out you've been transformed into a damn fish by the Queen of the Mermaids so that she could hide you from Mortigan. Now, let me just say, playing as Nemo is fucking stupid. I hated it. Thankfully, you turn back into a real boy pretty quick, and then you set off to fix the world. So, now, it's time to start from the beginning again. So remember how I said I thought I was going to beat it at 40 hours? Yeah, super wrong about that. So, back at the beginning. No allies. You can't fast travel to all the places that you've been, and the world is fucked. Everything is on fire, there's stronger enemies, and my character doesn't seem as strong now. I make it to the last bastion of humanity, and make an unlikely ally. I won't spoil that part. Then, I storm the castle with my new ally and defeat the monster who has made it his home. And what do I get for winning this battle? A fucking orb. I now have to collect all the goddamn orbs again. All 6 of them. At this point, I realize, not gonna be able to beat the game. Have to put it down. I start my week of work the next day, and it's time to go to bed. Now, let's fast forward to a week later. I get off work at 2300 hours. That's 11 p.m. And start playing Dragon Quest again. I could play it late and sleep in the next day, so around 1 a.m., I hear what sounds like a door slamming. I'm used to hearing this as I live in an apartment and people are fucking inconsiderate. But it's 1 a.m. Why the hell are people slamming doors? Then my whole apartment shakes. Windows are rattling. It feels like a car hit the building I live in. I'm actually impressed someone could slam a door that hard. So I just go back to playing Dragon Quest, when I get a text message from Simply Travis asking if I'm okay. Why the hell is he texting me at 1 a.m. asking if I'm okay? He then proceeds to tell me that a chemical plant less than 2 miles from me had an explosion. Big explosion. There's tons of chemical plants around here. He felt it from where he lived. That's a whole county over and about 20 miles from the explosion site. As crazy as this sounds, it's not my first chemical plant explosion, so I'm not too worried for my safety at this point. I start checking news stations to see what's up. I find pictures and videos of the plant on fire, toxic ass smoke rising into the sky, pictures and videos of people's home security systems showing flashes of light and windows breaking, fences being knocked over, doors that had been knocked down, and ceilings caving in. My next thought is, oh shit. Now I have to find out what chemicals are in the air, which way the wind is blowing, maximum blast radius. You know, the normal stuff you do when you live in an area that's covered in miles of chemical plants as far as you can see. Now, like I said, this isn't my first chemical plant explosion, so when I find out I'm in a relatively safe area, I stop worrying so much. It's time to go to bed. It's pretty late at this point. Fast forward about 8 hours. I wake up, I drink my coffee, start playing Dragon Quest again. I start kicking ass. I'm stomping the shit out of slimes. I'm making these enemies my bitch at this point. I'm playing for a few hours. It's around, I think 1 p.m. when all of a sudden, my apartment shakes again. God damn it. The chemical plant explodes again. My phone starts blowing up. I start replying to message. Yes, I felt that one. Yes, I'm okay. No, the wind isn't blowing my direction. No, there isn't an evacuation order. Then, I see a video of the second explosion. It's in a tower flying through the air that crashed down not too far from where it launched. Now, the reason why that is so scary is that the plant has now gained enough XP that it learned magic missile and is now launching projectiles. Projectiles that could fly into neighboring chemical plants and cause a massive chain reaction of explosions that could cause damage within a 4-mile radius. At this point, the wind has shifted and there is now a large toxic trail of smoke over my apartment. This chemical plant is apparently a high-level magic user and is casting poison spells in my direction. The local police then proceed to go through all the neighborhoods, telling people there's a mandatory evacuation order in place. The chemical plant really doesn't want me to beat Dragon Quest. Now, I'm a refugee, like the hero in our story. The environment has changed. It's become a dangerous place. I can't travel through some areas as I could before. The enemy is out to destroy my Thanksgiving, which, by the way, is the next day. I grab my bug out bag. I'm not a prepper or anything like that, anything crazy. You have to have a bug out bag in our area. There's just so many disasters, hurricanes, freak storms, plant explosions, all of that junk. So I grab my bag, leave town. After a few days of being displaced, one of them being Thanksgiving, the evacuation order is lifted and I could go home. Should I try and finish Dragon Quest? Fuck no! Not right now. Every time I turn it on since I've been off work, something explodes. So, all joking aside, I'm going to take even longer to beat Dragon Quest. It's a great game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, but it's super long and is not a beat it in a week game. If you like JRPGs, this Dragon Quest is probably the epitome of JRPG. Well, to me it is. It's not like Final Fantasy or anything, but I thoroughly enjoy it. Let's see. I know Travis was talking about trying to play it. Travis is really slow at playing games. Don't expect him to beat it anytime soon. He hasn't started it. He's slow. Really slow. Alright, so I'm not going to go on any longer. And I guess that concludes this episode of Rowdy's Ruckus Rantings. Be sure to let me know what you think of this episode. Hit me up on Twitter at LamerGamersCast. Oh my god, LamerGamersCast. You could also hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever other social media app that we're on that I can't remember at this time. Drop a review if you feel so inclined. Also, let your friends know about us. They can pick up the podcast on almost any platform of their choosing. I think the only place you can't listen to us is iHeartRadio. It's really fucking hard to get on there. Let us on iHeartRadio. Alright, well, I guess that's it for today. Have a good one, and stay safe out there, guys. Watch out for chemical plant explosions. They like to launch magic missiles and toxic clouds.